Eccoci, buonasera a tutti.
Buonasera a tutti.
Hi Gino, oggi siamo con un ospite internazionale, infatti dopo questa piccola introduzione in italiano parleremo in inglese.
Ci proviamo.
Esatto. E siamo veramente contenti di avere come ospite di questo ultimo appuntamento della rassegna Between Anser, che abbiamo ideato per un po' farvi scoprire determinate caratteristiche di quello che è il nostro ultimo lavoro con Alberto, che è appena uscito ormai da un mesetto per la Stradivarius, che con l'omonimo nome del duo Anser. E quindi appunto siamo ancora più contenti di poter chiudere questa rassegna che ha visto come ospiti Alessandro Marchini dall'Osservatorio dell'Università di Siena, Francesco Martinelli, storico del jazz, critico e scrittore dei più importanti libri proprio per l'appunto sul jazz, e poi ad avere con noi anche Gino Robair, musicista internazionale americano, che tra gli altri musicisti con cui ha collaborato anche con Tom Waits, con Terry Riley, con Anthony Braxton, tanto per dire dei nomi piccolini, ecco. So, Gino, we are so happy that you are with us. And we are...
Anch'io, grazie mille.
So you can speak in Italian and we speak in English.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
We can make an exercise, and so we speak in different languages. And so we are very happy that you brought the liner notes of our work, and so we are more happy that we can speak with you about our work.
Yeah.
And
thanks for listening very carefully when I sent you the recording.
Yeah, I was very surprised by the kind of music you made and also the quality of the recording. It was really beautifully recorded, and I was expecting, I think, something a lot more avant-garde and more extreme, and there was a nice tension I felt there was a nice tension between the improvised music and the notated music. It was difficult to tell sometimes which pieces were created ahead of time and which were done as an improvisation. So I really felt that was very interesting and intriguing. So I think that's why I got very excited about it, because it's not always that there's always a differentiation between the two with, commonly, at least here, people are really trying to be in one camp or the other.
Yeah, that's true. And many people say the same, that it's difficult to understand what is really written and what it's totally improvised. So
yeah, and I think that what you're doing is quite radical in that way, in that you are not trying to show that one is improv and one is structured. It's like, trying to approach it in a musical way. It's okay, this piece needs to be kind of pre-designed, and this one, sometimes we'll just play. And I think for me, it was I was thinking about it in a metaphorically, a lot like one would say, you make a dinner for friends, and some things you cook ahead of time from a recipe, and other things you just put on the table and people can, create their own part of the meal. So I think this, to me, it's like that kind of meal where you've got some cooked stuff and some, do it yourself, assemble it. That's the improvised part. But it's all you guys, and it all has your combined aesthetics, which I think is also very interesting. And I'll ask you about that after we do some listening, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
For us, it's very important and to listen this from you especially, because when we play, we say all the time that our music is between writing and improvisation, but we like to speak to make clear that for us is only to make our music. So we make it in these ways, but at the end, like you says, is sometimes it's difficult to understand why what is right, what is improvised, and so this is important because the important things of us is that you understand that it is answer, and so I think the thing that you say is very important, and I think Braida is agree from this.
Yeah. Also, and especially because the written parts, the scores, we'll see something during the direct, are very, very short and are really like sketches more than real compositions, and then the improvisation make the biggest part of the work.
Scrivete insieme? You write these pieces together?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you describe that process, the two of you composing a piece?
Yeah, one piece is in particular is we already told it. It's a transcription of a fragment of an improv that we recorded, and the other pieces are written, more or less is for a hands, because if there's the melody from Virginia, then all the work about the harmonization is about myself, and so if I write a piece, we can try to find. I write a piece, we try to find together the way to play it, and yes, and it's a work that always, I think, had to do with all the rehearsals and all the recordings we did during the years we worked together.
How many years have you been collaborating in this way as a duo?
One year.
2, more or less. No. So yeah. Mm-hmm. More, 2 years.
Because when we make the recording of this album was 10 years ago, and so the music of the album was made after a year of collaboration.
Yes.
In reality, because these years we meet sometimes, but we know the situation. So, but in reality, it was a year of experimental together that we have experimental together. The mood of playing, and then when we find the sound of the duo, that we decide to record this moment. And when you ask us if we write the piece together, is right, but we write playing more time.
Yes.
So you're playing, and then you say, I like this. Let's keep that.
Yeah, so we fix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's more empiric. I don't know.
So.
It kind of has a source. The source is somewhat improvised, even of that, right? You have the source of some of the composition is from improvisation.
Yes.
And maybe a piece like I don't know. Then we can listen. A piece called Cinabro. We have a theme, we have a melody, but then we have an improvisation, and the improvisation is improvisation, but we play Cinabro sometimes. So in some way we decide the direction of the melody, of the harmony. It's different every time, but in the pieces there are some things that we make play together every time we meet. So
sentiamo.
Cinabro? We can go with the Cinabro?
Okay. Here we are.
Bellissimo.
So this was Cinabro with melody, improvisation, and melody. So similar but different every time. This is the concept, I think so.
No, it's really remarkable.
Yes, and that the idea is that you have.
Go ahead.
Go Gino.
Okay, I wouldn't have expected that there was improvisation there, at least from that recording. It felt very, it feels very fixed, but it feels very open. It has an openness to it. But it's quite interesting to have that sense. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, Alberto. You were going to talk about the shape.
Yeah, it's like this theme is possible to use it in little fragments and transpose it and go away from the theme and then go back. It's always something in that we develop through into far from the theme. So
like a theme and variation in real time, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And how many versions of this did you record? Just out of curiosity.
Whoa, I don't remember. I don't remember.
I think maybe 3 or
3, 4.
The most the piece that we recorded more time was Piero Po.
Yes.
We recorded I don't know how many times. And then we choose
like 11.
It's like a fuga. So maybe I don't know why we don't like the different version that we make during the recording, but there was all the time something that we say there is something that we don't like, no? And maybe because more longer than the theme disappear, or maybe because the structure come in other different pieces, and we would like to make a piece that be an identity, a specific identity, and maybe because I think is the only piece like different from the other of the right rhythmics, because it's the only like an ancient I don't know in English is right, ancient antica forma. Okay.
Yeah.
So
also Galena has something close to that.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up because it has a very Celtic feel to it, and structured, but again, there's a sort of looseness to it also, like almost like a folk piece that and you're just there you are, just playing it spontaneously. It has that kind of feel. It doesn't feel like something that you've written down and okay, now it's time to look at the thing and play it. It just feels more alive, like just something that's part of your repertoire for many years,
Yeah, but that's true. I think even if like Virginia told me before, it's always different, but there's always this kind of freshness or in playing these pieces, like they are totally metabolized. Does it exist? And so it's a tool. It's a tool to play together.
Yeah. Virginia, how much what is your experience as an improviser?
I start in reality I was fortunately to meet a lot of musicians came from other place like classical music. So I start to play music different from classic when I was little girl. Before at the first with my friends, we play piano and violino, everything we want without score. I don't know what the music was, but the mood was to make something without score, so a different approach from classic. Then I have a house in mountain in the Appennini. And there, when I was young, okay, there was a group of musicians that make a cantautorato italiano, like Battisti, like De André, like Bertoli, and so I want to play everywhere. So I take my violin and try to play something, follow them. And it was it was very important to me because it's another different branch. And the most important meeting was before meet Braida, really, was to meet a special musician called Marco Pesi, and that we are a project at Siena called Fase Obert, and he never studied anything, so he has his identity, his way to play. He play bouzouki, oud, guitar, and we start to play a lot together with improvisation, with piece improvisation, and so at the end I meet 3 years ago Stefano Battaglia, that Braida knows, I think.
Yeah.
I discovered the improvisation without specifically style, like not improvisation technical, but swing improvisation, improvisation. And thanks to these works I made with Stefano Battaglia in Siena, I know a lot of people, and in one of these events I meet Braida in Siena in a workshop, and we start to play together. So it was a long I meet a lot of people that show me a different way to play music, fortunately. But and so I can have the fortune to meet people with I can play totally in confidence like Braida and make music sinceramente. Okay.
So you knew right away that this was going to be different and interesting, or have a longer, more interesting development as a duo.
Yeah.
When you first played together, you kind of had that sense that you would be.
Yeah. Yeah. We came from different experiences. So, greetings from Nino.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nino, tell him I love him.
Yeah. I called him today, and he says, "Say hello to Gino."
Grazie mille.
And smonta tutto. And so yes, but at the end, these different words found this identity that I think is totally different from the other experiences we both did before. So that's I think it's quite interesting.
You know, I picked 2 of the impro duos from the CD.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they had a really nice. I think they played off of the other compositions that I chose really nicely. So I don't know if you want to play due or cinque. Impro due.
Impro due? I put impro due? Now?
Yeah.
Sentiamo.
Ok, andiamo.
Grazie.
So with a crazy
Improdue.
violinette at the end.
I like
Yeah.
how rhythmically it just changes up rhythmically, and then each of you are sort of, you know, pushing each other in different directions in the improvisations. And especially that one, I like near the end, you go into sort of 6/8 or the sort of triplety, and it just kind of, it's a nice way to finish off the piece. It feels very kind of just takes it one step over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Rhythmically, it's quite interesting because it happens a strange thing, because it's like we know what's going to happen, and very often the changing of the rhythm are really like decided, but it's not like that. They happened by themselves.
Well,
they are independent and anarchic with us, from us.
But there's a lot of trust. I mean, I feel like there is no, you don't have any sort of, you're not like, not sure if you should do this. It's just like you just go for it, knowing that the other person's gonna be there, right? So you trust each other's judgment, which is really nice. It's not tentative at all.
No. It's like, you know, that he's there, she's there, or I'm there, and so we can take our risk without fear.
Yeah, and I think if you're working in a tonal way, that's actually more risky than working with an avant-garde way, because you know, you have to be committed when you go in there with your pitches and your notes. You have, you know, if you're gonna, you just got to be committed. You can't go in there and say, oh, you know, let's see if there's my pitch. So I don't feel any of that in your music. It's just like, okay, boom. And it's really interesting to me. because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect you, Alberto, to be on the keyboard the entire time.
Yeah,
Really,
we played in different situations before, so it was not like that. And me and you, so in this outfit, you never heard me before.
No, I think it's so I feel like there's a real you take the materials and you're really very focused about the way you're going to approach this group.
Yeah.
And I think in that for me, I hear in that you pushing yourself to keep, really, it's not restraint. It's more of a focus, but a narrowing of your potential materials for improvisation.
Yeah.
You really are keeping focused and listening. I mean, both of you are listening at a very high degree. And it's just, so for me, that's also one of the exciting things is to get that sense of that, when I'm listening.
Yeah.
Especially in the improvised pieces. Yeah.
Thank you.
How does it sound to you, both of you now, 1 year later?
Yes.
Now, you've been working for another year as much as you can, considering that, the lockdown.
Yeah. But we started to, we had really a short window of time to rehearse again, maybe 4 times.
I think, but we are in Anser 2.0, Anser second level, second step.
Yeah, and
different step, not second.
Yeah,
there isn't a more or less, I think.
Yeah, it's still Anser, but of course, with a lot of new ideas and new things that happens, and will be very interesting to dig into this, because it's
And you have a recording, but you have a recording session coming up now to explore.
We record every rehearsal.
Okay, but I mean, you have a recording session coming up in Milano.
Yes.
Yes.
Next week we will recording for a Cantiere Memoria, and there we will play Anser a different way, the second step. So you can listen the evolution is not the right. I don't know if in English exists this word, but it's not right to say is this part that we make is best is
it's better. Yeah,
it's better. It's different. So, but I'm very sure that it's so clear to listen that we are Anser, but we are different from the album. But with the when we saw to make music together before this period and after the album, we work with the same fiducia,
faith,
and without fear from each other, and so with more decision without any problem and thinking without anything, because we know that in some way the music will go in a direction. So I don't know if it could be clear.
See.
Yeah.
Capisco. What do you have new pieces? Have you had a chance to develop new compositions?
No, we just improvised during last rehearsals, and it's what I think is that if you think about these 2 stars, the name is Anser to this binary star. It's like if now we are more playing with the orbits, It's like they could be more far away or closer, or
okay.
It's like while in the city we are very more or less at the same distance, one star from the other. During last 3 years, it's more interesting what's going
Dynamics.
So you
can
interplay.
You can move farther away.
Yeah.
And come together, because probably this faith that Virginia was talking about is so clear that it let us be sure, or more sure, than okay, we can also take more risks.
Yeah.
We can also try to be more far away, and then we know that sooner or later we'll be closer again. So it's interesting, and in this way different things happen. So it's there's a lot of new stuff, if new material, even if we did just 4 rehearsals, that will be interesting to develop, and maybe for sure also to write new pieces on this phase.
For the audience that's watching that is English, and the word answer is not a misspelling of the English word answer.
Okay.
No, but I want to clarify, because answer is part of a binary star configuration, which originally during the Renaissance was referred to as the fox and the goose. And then it's, the stars are close enough that they're at a distance, they can be seen as one. But in fact, when we got better technology to star search, we find out that there are 2. And that's sort of the metaphor of the name for this duo, is that you've got these 2 personalities, these 2 stars who are kind of just at this point now in 2.0, Anser 2.0, being that rotation has the ability to go farther away from each other, and I would imagine closer, right? So if you've got that, you can create that tension by moving your rotations farther, but you can also in these improvisations. And I think I would imagine after an experience of a recording session, I know personally you listen to your music at a different level, and you start to realize what you can what the future might hold, even though you don't know what it is. That sometimes has that effect, and I would imagine in this case probably as much, especially since when you're not able to meet for a long period of time, and you have that concept in your head. When you do meet, you can really just
do it,
jump in and just let it all hang out, as they used to say in the 60s.
Good.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing, to hearing where you take this sort of duo sound as you develop, you find this greater trust where what the music will sound like and how you will push it, what directions you'll push it. I'm really curious to hear.
Braida?
Yeah. We too.
You find out next week, huh?
Next week we'll see. No, dice, curioso di vedere in che
il video.
In che direzione o che direzione prenderà.
We will send you the recording. Maybe the streaming will be on the first day of January.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Excellent.
So you can see Braida with the Nord
piano.
The little red grand piano.
Yeah. But I think it's normal in improvised music. Okay, you can meet occasionally or just for one time, and play together. But when you start a work together like this, it's great to see how it can change. It can and it never end this process, because you every time discover new things, and you had every time new ideas, and so this is, I think, we are lucky, and when we have this chance to do works like this. Yes.
Do you think, are you planning another release in the future and maybe some touring?
Sure.
Yes.
When we can travel again?
Yeah, by bike.
Yeah.
You can bring a piano by bike. It's very comfortable, Bridens.
Yeah.
With violin is more simple. You, Gino, with percussion, you can play everything, so you are okay.
Whatever the room, yeah, whatever in the
So,
room.
Gino,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can play together. We make duo and Braida. We think so.
And Braida,
Make sport.
the biker.
So, I think it's
Yes.
interesting to think that when we meet the first time, Braida, because when you speak Gino, I think about some things, some events that happen with when we meet Alberto, but we find the sound of Anser after time, but after we find one time that we play together, because the first time that we meet to play, I don't know, for the first time, I don't know, 5 times, 6 times that we meet, we don't find our sound. Maybe sometimes you, Braida, want to bring me more in jazz way. You remember? I would like to
It's
kill you.
not true.
It's true. I say, no, I don't want it.
It's not true.
He make a blue note all the time. I say, Braida, what are you doing?
Just because the keyboard is blue.
Yes. But there was a time, I don't remember when, that we play, and when we listen each other, we find the sound that we like and that we identify, that we understand, yes, each other. But for the first time, that was a discover, no, with us,
Yeah.
with them. Braida try to take me in jazz. I take to try Braida in ritmi storti. I don't know in English. In like 7/8, not regular. Okay, because I'm studying analytical music, so I want to play something this way. So the first time was fun, if I think, no, because there was I play this because I have this background. You play this because you has this
Your
background.
Yeah.
But then I don't remember when. I am sure that was one time that we play, and that when we
It happened.
listen to each other, yes. And after this situation, we start to make really this duo. So
Yeah.
Did you talk about it, or was it more natural when you say, okay?
It was more natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because improvised music is sometimes is very gabbia. Yeah. Anyway, we try to define what is improvised music, and there are kind of a stereotype. I don't know in English.
No, stereotype is good.
Of improvised music, which means some things, and probably, and we were thinking about that kind of improvisation, plus all the other influences we had before, like for me, jazz, of course, for her, other. But at the end, it was like tabula rasa, and
like Stefano Battaglia say, you know.
Yeah, but not Arvo Part 2. So,
I know.
anyway, at the point, it was clear that in that moment, that was our field. And so we stayed there.
And if you remember, I played viola too in the
Yes.
first meeting, because I don't want to play violin. I don't know. I would like to. I wanted to play viola with Alberto. So the first time I went in the when we are to play together, and with viola and violin, and all the time I try to change the instrument, because I don't know, I want this sound, I want this sound, I want this sound, I want this type of music. And so it was a really ricerca.
Yeah.
So, but I think these things only now with this conversation with you, because I never think about this treat that we have done with Alberto before we find the sound that we call the sound of our duo. So thanks, Gino, because I remember a lot of things that I think I have to forgot it.
Well, it's so funny, because I was going to ask you if you had used like a viola, or if you'd worked with different tessitura on the strings, to move around Alberto with the different tessitura of the strings. So, I mean, now that you have this sort of idea of what Anser is, would you consider bringing the viola back into the mix?
I think it could be, but I play viola in very different way from violin, because I don't know why I use viola more timbrico. I don't know in English, timbre.
Like a timbre, more timbre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there are more harmonics. I can make more effect because it's bigger. I think if I only take viola, I could be use more sound bassi. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can think so. It's interesting. Yeah. Yes, sure.
Because it just feel, I don't know. I'm so I like to have that surprise when you're listening to violin. All of a sudden, wait a second, that sounds like a different instrument.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a viola. It's like, when you're in a recording and you don't, you're not looking at it and you go, oh wow, that's interesting. No, I was just curious to. I'm always curious to see how groups that improvise, what they have to do to stay together, because they're like any group relationship, there's tension, and with improvising, there's not songs that keep you together. There's not a repertoire that your fans want to hear. It's just the two of you having a dialogue each time, and sometimes how do you keep that dialogue fresh where you still want to keep talking to each other? So I'm always curious how ensembles maintain that freshness of wanting to meet and explore, and get past those times when you think you're stuck, and you got to push through that wall of stuckness to find the next thing. How do you both? I mean, I guess you haven't really had a chance to spend enough time together to hate each other yet.
Yeah.
Maybe the first tour, when you're in a bus for 2 months, then you can have that tension. But how do you, when you get together, do you talk first or you just play?
Just play, maybe.
Just play, yeah.
Only when we listen the recording, we say, it's good, or it's good in some part, it's interesting, but we don't talk about how to do, what we have to do.
Okay.
We do only to play. We don't speak a lot with Alberto
when
we play.
Do you have disagreements about what is good and what is not good?
Normally, yes.
And what kind of things do you find, just out of curiosity, what do you find that?
No, I think no. You say that if we are disagree.
Yeah,
or
do you
agree?
Disagree or agree?
Disagree, Braidens.
Oh, sorry.
No, you don't understand. Is because we are all the time in the same direction when we listen to something that
you
we
hear?
do.
So there's no you both know when
Yeah.
it's working. You feel
Yes, we are all the time in the same thinking, and this is, I think, this is a important thing to work very very fast and good together, because we have all the time the same thinking about our music. So oh no,
Yes.
right. Okay.
I was trying to say that.
Okay, so now is this the situation? Maybe in the future we can for everything we will be disagree
Fight.
forever. Yes, you like my show.
But for the recording, this last recording, then you could both agree. You knew when it was working and when it was the sound that of the group. You had that. You knew, you understood that together. You didn't have any no disagreement.
No.
When you
No.
recorded this is the cover. Yeah.
No,
Thanks, Gino.
no disagree.
Fantastic.
No, we have the same idea from the piece to choose, the improv that we have put in the album, because there was other improvisation that we made, but we don't decide to put in the album. So this is a good and very very good things to work together without problem.
Yeah. Sometimes it's funny because we make a kind of joke, like you write what you think and I write what I think, and then we compare it, and
Is that similar?
and it's always similar. So, but it's also similar the evolution. I think we are intuire. Come si dice?
Intuitive? Intuitive? No.
Intuire.
The thinking.
The thinking about what we are going, where we're going.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get that sense. I feel that when I listen to it. But both the improvisation and the performance of the notated work, it seems that way. And I'm really curious. Do we have time to listen to both of the other songs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We start with what you prefer. We have
Impro
Cinque and Galena.
Sì. Sentiamo Galena.
Galena. Perfetto. I put it.
And then as a comparison, we can listen to Impro 4.
Improvisation.
Impro 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go.
Okay.
Ciao.
I'm laughing to myself because you have to work with theme and variations in an improvisation with melodic material like that. You have to have a lot of trust in the other person. Because, it's like Bright is in there. He's like, your Bright is playing, and all of a sudden it's like, let me see if I can push it this way a little bit. Oh, and then Virginia's answering, oh yeah, let me check this out. But it never leaves the sort of feeling, the overall feeling that the song has. Like, it doesn't go into the sort of extreme of noise, and like a lot of people will take a theme and they'll just kind of make noise out of it, to show noise. And so you're really pushing those boundaries in a very subtle way. But I think that does show that to me, that's you do have to trust the other player is going to be right there with you, because I don't feel any. It's not tentative at all. It's very it's just very strong. I find it very strong. So I think that's why I admire that, what you do with that, because it starts very, polite, and then it's very subtly pushing. I don't mean to just kind of ramble on about that, but that's why I chose that piece, because it really stands out on the record that way.
This is one of my, I think, and Braida prefer piece, because is different from the other.
Yep.
And we want to make like a Piropov that is a fuga, a piece with a forma. I don't know in English come the Braidens, like a giga, no?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
so. Yeah. We want to make a giga, but not a traditional giga. But it was interesting to make a piece that you can recognize something that like a giga, because giga is in folk, in barocco, so you can find in different type of music, but in our way to make music. I like. I'm so happy that you for the thing that you say of this piece, because in my idea, I think in Braiden's thinking, we want to make a traditional but different piece start to a theme, because there is a melody, but the melody of this the Galena is not the first melody that we listen, but is the second melody that we listen. So the first part of these pieces is all improvising. The melody is da ti da 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 da. The first part is totally improvised in tonality together, and you are right to say that we have to have trust together to make this. And sometimes I think Braida now is make something dissonance, but there are a lot of dissonance in this piece. But Alberto put in perfect moment the dissonances. This piece, I like so much this piece, and I'm very happy that you choose for tonight, and that we can speak about the Galena. This is
Yes, I made a lot of mistakes, so but they worked. No, I remember a funny thing at the end of the recording of Galena, because when starts the real theme at the end of the piece, I remember Virginia asked me, but did you know that I was starting the melody
yes.
now?
And
I said, yes, I was sure of that.
Yeah, really, because there is a part that Alberto start to play before me. It seems like that he know that I will play the theme in the next time, and he make levare. I don't know in English.
Yeah, it was just the last time of the it was like,
so you were it's like you were leading into the melody, like you predicted and played.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
because we are another part of a melody of another. I mean, we are in improvisation, but in the time that I'm start to make a melody, it start before me. Give me the start to make melody. So I remember now this. You are you are fantastic because you can you are difficult.
like an hurricane.
Yeah, no, okay. Because with this conversation, we remember a lot of things that we've forgotten. So or that we don't speak all the time. So, but this is true. I say this in the Galena because it was very very strange that how we can do this. So
it's great. It's really nice that that it was being recorded, and it wasn't. Sometimes you get that moment during the sound check, and you say, "Oh God, why weren't you recording?" So to capture that.
Yeah.
But it still has a consistency. It still feels very much part of the record, even though you've got the sort of fugue and you've got the sort of more pastoral open sounds, and then you've got this sort of dance, sort of Baroque dance style thing. It still feels part of the group. I think that's why when I first heard the record, I think I told you I was listening. It reminded me of the work, Lou Harrison's work, and Henry Cowell's work for particularly the violin, the trio with percussion, violin, and piano, because both Henry and Lou were working a lot with forms. I mean, Lou loved to take these sort of Baroque forms and write pieces around them. For him, that was really a nice way to start a piece. Is to say, I'm going to write, a jig and just kind of work with it. So the subtleties that you were working with this piece and pushing at the edges of each other's as you're playing, I think that's what's really interesting about the difference between the music from that sort of mid 20th century to the current time is that you can do this with improvisation. You don't have to score the whole piece out.
Yeah.
You both are examples of musicians who have background in classical music, a background in improvisation, a background in different kinds of ways of modes of working, so that you can get the same kind of depth without having to have somebody tell you what to do, right? The composer genius does not have to exist to get music of the depth that we were hearing in a previous generation, if that makes any sense. That's how I see this record. It's like, oh, okay. So, in the old days, 80 years ago, you had to, somebody wrote this stuff down. Otherwise, the typical string player and pianist would not know what to play. That's not a consideration anymore. But your duo is living proof of that. It's like we can sit down and make music that has the exact same, feel, and goes in really interesting ways and is unpredictable and still has a logic. And I think that by having a little bit of structure, you keep that logic. But even when you improvise without having preset ideas, there's still a logic in there. And I think that's why I'm responding this way to the record, that it feels consistent all the way through, is that you have created this logic through your mutual understanding of what the band can be.
Yeah.
Am I talking too fast in English? I apologize. I'm just like
no.
No. We understand. Thank you so much, because it's very.
And it's helping me because to talk to you about it as well. I didn't realize to what extent you were working with. You had come up with some of the concepts for the composition. So, and it's really interesting to listen to it and talk to you about it while we're and hear it at the same time, because it's also bringing some things to mind to me that now I want to write about and think about a little bit more. I was just I'm going to share this book. Do I have it? I've been reading this book. I don't know if Raymond or Graham are watching, but it's really wonderful book, Art of Becoming.
Okay.
Right, and published by I'm not sure who published, Oxford Press, but Raymond is one of the co-founders of the Glasgow Improvisers Ensemble, and many of the members in that band have thought really deeply about improvisation. So it was interesting to read this book, which, when they're talking about you have a long-term ensemble playing an improvisation, it really helps to talk about what you want to do. But in this case, with your duo, it seems like it's more of an intuitive sense that you got to where you are now without having to clarify verbally.
No, that's
what you
true.
wanted. And and again, that's when you find that special connection, it's better not to talk about it.
Yeah, it's true.
Only play, yes.
Just let it happen,
And I don't like talk too much, so it's perfect.
The first time that you remember, I want to understand your opinion about the recording. So I say, Alberto, so what do you think? I did things for the first time. Then we stop to talk and only listen. So it was the best way that we find, and it's very fast way to make music together, and so we hope to play. No, we played next week, so we hope to play soon together because
I really hope you both do, because I can see you've got a lot to find. There's much more to discover.
Yes, and Gino, when you will come in Italy or in other place where we meet,
I would love to.
Will beautiful to play together.
I can be there. I'll be there tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6 a.m.
It would be great.
I've got my ticket. It's like I had a ticket to come in the spring of this year, but of course, I was unable. So fortunately, I still have my ticket. One of these days, I'll be able to come.
It could be fantastic.
And I'll just play whatever's in the kitchen. I'll pull out the pots and pans, and Braida knows. You'll see.
Braida knows. Yeah.
Braida knows.
The head.
Can we, before we go, can we listen to
the last piece?
Impro 5?
Impro 5, yes. I have to make another thing. So
I like this format. This is a nice, this sharing format here is really good. I like this.
Yeah, but for Impro 5, I have to make another type of streaming because it's too longer.
Okay.
So I try now. It could be.
I'll talk to Braida for a minute. I love your piano playing in this. I love this the touch.
I could cry.
No. No, the touch is very clear and very it's just very beautiful. Very solid. I think it's because to play with the violin, I think I wrote this in the liner notes. To play with a violin the violin's tuning is by ear. You don't have any frets. You've got a lot more expression. In the piano, you don't have that same pitch expression, but you have to find expression in other ways.
Yeah.
And the level of expression you get out of the piano in this CD is just incredible. So I really just love the sound of your playing in it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
it was a very good piano.
And I think because you play with a violin, you can really.
I'm joking.
The piano, I know the piano did all the work, but I think because the violin doesn't cover up what you're doing, right? The piano is it's very easy to hear what you're doing and very clear because of this, the way the two instruments sound together.
Yeah,
and. I don't really notice it even in classical playing. I bet there's a really nice clarity in your playing in this, and also clarity of thought with the tone. So I wanted to make sure I told you that in front of other people so that maybe I'll earn a little bit more money from you when I send you the invoice. But it's an English joke. It's the old I'm selling your music, but I'm actually selling your playing, because I know you're playing very well, Braida, and this is probably the most clear I've actually heard it. And I think it's because it's because you have to play with the violin that you got to find that different way to.
Yes, it pushed me to find a different way from other instruments, of course.
But you're not because you're not going inside. There were some moments I thought, okay, he's going to reach inside.
No, I refused it. No strings this time. Just her.
We decided, and then I decided to don't use anything object on the violin. We decided this. Braida not into the piano, and Virginia not with the object and violin on the loop.
But it didn't. He didn't come from a decision. It was a natural evolution of the playing together. So nothing had been really decided.
But I think that's
duo.
That's the surprise, is when you go into improvisation, like you said, the typical thing is they play for a while and now they're going to go and start using extended techniques. But you didn't rely on that. So you have to keep drawing more and more inspiration from the traditional techniques. And I think that forces you to keep really focused, in a way that I think improvisers aren't, they don't have to focus so much, because they've got so many different tools they can choose from. So that's why I think it's, that combination of working with an instrument by the violin, which is not covering you up in any way, but also challenges you to play in a sort of expressive way like she is, I think that's what, to me, drew out some of the best playing, I've heard of you. And I've got a lot of Braida's CDs, so I kind of know what he's.
Remember this, Braidens, remember.
Yes. Thank you, Gino.
I think this duo is very good for you. This duo is good for you.
Yeah. And but I
you have to pay me, Braida.
You owe her and you owe me.
Money, just money.
Just money, only money. Anything else?
In this period, I got no money, and probably I will have no home.
No, because we dance, we will be famous, Alberto.
No, what I was thinking is that I love counterpoint a lot. It's one of my love in music. So it was, it pushed me to find a way to interact with the violin in a way that could make it happen. A kind of, yes. In some pieces, it's more than in other. It's clear this, and it's very interesting for me, this digging.
Yeah, I think that again. I think that's what's remarkable about the fact that you're improvising and still getting that. I almost want to say classical sound, but I would say composed sound. It's like you don't have that written down to get counterpoint. And to get counterpoint that has that's tonal and tonally relevant and tonally consistent. There's nothing arbitrary here.
Yeah.
Like, you both know where you're going without knowing where you're going. You're just trusting that, we have this sort of shared concept. But with counterpoint, you don't hear improvisation. I can't think of anybody that's going there in the way you have, to really sort of focus on that and not, okay, we did that counterpoint. Now let's go to jazz. Oh, we've done jazz. Now let's go to noise. No, it's like you're really in this one area that's very consistent, but feels like it's a group. sound, So complimenti.
Grazie.
Grazie davvero. Thank you really, because you say very beautiful words, and it is important that it is that you hear that this duo has a sound in this direction, and has this identity. This is very important for me and Alberto, and so thank you so much, Gino, for these words.
Thank you, and thank you for asking me to write about it, because I really enjoyed.
Oh, thank you for writing the liner notes, because it was a pleasure, and after this it was an occasion, an opportunity to meet you, because so it was fantastic. Great. So I put impro 5, okay?
Great.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I can smoke.
I go. Okay, I have muted the microphone, so it's working now. Okay. So it was Improv 5.
Beautiful.
I want to say thanks to you, Gino, for the time that you dedicate to us. Braida is mute. More.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And
But it doesn't change.
Piacere mio, grazie.
And so we hope to meet soon. So thanks for all. Braida, if you want to say something to Gino.
I think to Gino, just that I love him a lot, and I miss you a lot.
Not only you, Braida.
I miss you a lot.
Oh my gosh! So we'll have to play as soon as this is over. We'll play.
Yeah.
Music. Fabulous.
So,
thank you for inviting me on. It's really enjoyable.
Thank you for being here.
Yes. At the end, we speak for an half past hour, so a lot of time. So thanks, people that follow us for this long time that we speak. And so we are too happy to close this online festival with you, Gino. And so hope to see you soon, to meet you soon. And that's it. So,
Grazie Gino.
Grazie a tutti voi che ci avete seguito. Questo appunto era l'ultimo appuntamento della rassegna e volevo ringraziare, mi sono fatto un appunto perché che dovrebbe passare sotto.
Buona serata a tutti.
Buona serata a tutti.
Ciao Gino, tanto aspetta che... Grazie ancora.
Grazie, ciao.
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 Buona serata.
A te.
E volevo ringraziare appunto oltre a Gino che appena ci ha salutato, tutte le realtà che ci hanno appunto sostenuto, che hanno partecipato condividendo le nostre dirette di questa rassegna, tra cui Jazz It, Tracce di Jazz, Percorsi Musicali, La Sepoltura della Letteratura, l'Associazione Sculca, Radio Bla Bla, Associazione Errante, Radio Magenta e la Scuola d'Arti Applicate del Castello Sforzesco, che vabbè sono tutti nomi che potete leggere, per cui almeno era un appunto che non me ne dimenticassi nessuna. Quindi grazie di tutto il sostegno che ci avete dato, grazie anche proprio di tutte le persone che ci hanno seguito e niente, speriamo di avervi incuriosito un po' su quello che è Anser e that's it. So, adesso parlo una via di mezzo tutte e due. E niente, poi volevo ringraziare giustamente Alessandro Marchini che è stato ospite del primo incontro con l'Osservatorio dell'Università di Siena, Francesco Martinelli che è stato ospite del secondo incontro e ancora Gino Robair che è stato meraviglioso. Quindi grazie a tutti. Ciao.
Grazie mille a tutti, a presto. Buon
Per il
appetito.
CD ovviamente lo potete trovare ovunque, se no potete chiedere a noi. Grazie ancora.
Ciao.
Buona serata. Ciao.
Ciao.